Hi, Donna Guest here, Creative Memories Advisor and Lazy Scrapbooker. Have you tried a Creative Memories recipe template yet? These are a wonderful solution to making an amazing page. I don't use them on every page because they do take some time and effort, but when I need an amazing page or a beautiful cover page, these are my go-to. So I want to give you my top tips for using the Creative Memories recipe templates. Here goes. These recipe templates seem like they go against everything I am about as a lazy scrapbooker, but when I need a special page, they're actually a helpful tool to help me complete it quickly. There are a number of more detailed videos with tons of ideas using these templates. I wanted to create something short to give beginners a quick start and show you just how simple they can be. Each template has a number of spaces. You can use as many or as few of them as you want. The more you use, the more time you'll spend. The fewer you use, the faster you'll finish. First, you want to determine what style of page you're going to do and what materials you'll use. There is a wide range of difficulty using these templates. As a lazy scrapbooker, I of course love the easiest and fastest method, and that is using one magnificent piece of paper for the template. The next level of difficulty would be to use one collection of paper and cutting the shapes out of various pieces. Your papers are coordinated, and the background paper still makes everything pop. And I think the highest level of difficulty is using photos in the mix. Those add more time to your creation, but it's still pretty easy. You do what is best for you. There is no wrong answer to these. They're extremely versatile. It's helpful to trace the template on the back of the white cover that comes in the package with the recipe template. This serves as a staging area for your page. You'll find many of these blocks and areas look very similar, so this provides a helpful place to collect your pieces as you cut them to make sure you have them all. Simple Symmetry is an easier template because it is symmetrical, hence the name there. So whether you do it on this side or this side, it's going to be exactly the same. Of course, you can turn it and do a vertical template such as that, whatever you like. Some of the other templates are not symmetrical, such as Collage Wreath or this older one, Sweetheart. And so depending on what side you like everything on, like notice these are mirror images right here, you can just flip your template over to do that. So just keep that in mind. Like if you have rays, they can be pointing this way or that way or down. It depends on whatever position you place your template in. I'm going to start and cut a few pieces off of Simple Symmetry just to show you how to get started. So here's what you'll need. You'll need your template, obviously. You'll need the paper that you're going to use. I'm going to use Shiplap, which was an advisor exclusive pack in the second quarter of 2021. And then a photo labeling pencil, which I prefer over a regular pencil because they're so multi-purpose. You can write on the backs of your photos without smudging or leaving an indentation. And then of course the multi-purpose clips that I showed you. This is $3, these are $2. For $5 you have what you need, and it's going to make this much easier. So I'm going to move this out of the way, and now I've got my nice little template that I drew on here with a pen that I can use later when I'm staging the page. So I want to do a few pieces out of this side of the paper. You'll want to flip everything over and trace on the back of your paper. Certainly don't want to draw on this side of the paper, so I'm going to flip everything over. Now, if this were not a mirror image or symmetrical, I would flip it over too. Doesn't really matter in this case. But the reason I'm doing this is because I do want to draw on the opposite side of the paper so that I don't have to erase it. And now I'll start tracing. Trace the template on the back of your paper so that your pencil marks will never show on the front. No one wants to have to erase those, or worse, have them showing. Now I'm going to cut these pieces. Take advantage of all the wonderful tools that CM has when you're cutting the pieces for your template. Some of these pieces are going to require hand cutting, but use CM tools when you can. For example, when you have a straight edge, use a trimmer. And I separate the pieces sometimes by cutting between them with scissors first. It just makes them easier to work with. Then I use my personal trimmer to cut the straight edge or my 12-inch trimmer. For recipe templates that include circular patterns, use your CM custom cutting system with the circle templates, or you could even use the new circle cutter. So find the right template and the right blade, because with all these tools we should never have to cut circles by hand again. So I'm going to try the template on here and see what fits. So this looks like a perfect fit. I'm going to use the middle-sized circle template, just this one. Taking a closer look, I can see that I'll need the green blade to cut the picture that I'm going to put in this circle. Picture or paper, whatever I choose. The red blade would make a perfect outline if I were going to cut different patterns here, but I'll just stick to the green blade for now. The right size template with your custom cutting system or the new circle cutter will make this process fast and easy. Now as you cut all of your pieces, you'll want to place them onto your staging area to get ready to attach them to your page. Sometimes you don't have to make all the cuts. For example, these pieces look like 4 different cuts, but I'm going to turn this into 2. Using my 12-inch trimmer makes this the easiest and fastest process. Then for intricate places, like the inside of this angular piece, I'm going to use my scissors. Now all of my pieces are cut, on the staging area, and ready to place on my paper. I highly recommend using Creative Memory's Repositionable tape runner when attaching your pieces so that you can easily move things around, which you'll need to, I promise. And it will become permanent, but it's so easy to work with when using these templates. If you want to learn more about Creative Memory's various adhesives, check out the video in the top right corner. Choose a background paper that contrasts with the papers you are using. The first time I ever used a template, I tried to match my paper too much. If it's too matchy-matchy, you lose the effect and those pieces don't pop off the page. This is the first template page I ever created. However, my first attempt had me using a sand-colored beige piece of cardstock in the background. You couldn't tell I'd done anything, so I transferred all of the pieces over to a blue piece of cardstock, and wow, much better. So I've chosen a lighter piece of paper from the same collection, Shiplap, and we're going to see how this turns out. A lot of times I'll use cardstock as my background, and sometimes I'll use designer paper. So I'm going to use, this is the piece I'm going to attach it to. I think I like that side a little better, that orientation, I should say. And I'm going to use my clips and attach this now. And then I will start attaching the pieces with my repositionable tape runner. Don't be afraid when you first start attaching if the page looks like less than a masterpiece. Mine always look terrible at first, but then come together beautifully when done. I typically keep my recipe template pages really simple and use only paper, but this particular pattern is just begging for 3 photos down the middle. So I'm going to use the photo labeling pencil, which is basically wax, and just trace lightly on the photo so that I can cut that out. There we go. And I'm able to see my mark, so I'm using the personal trimmer to trim a perfect square there. So that it doesn't slip, you'll want to hold tightly. And I'm basically going to put marks in the 4 corners here where I can see them. Oops, and that will make it easy to cut. This particular photo is almost a little too large, but I'm going to make it work. And if you have one of these, remember the old pickup squares from years ago? They can help you get the pencil marks off. And off my table as well. And here's my finished page. Now just to add a little caption down at the bottom, and I think that's enough to get you started using these templates. Thank you for watching, and thanks to my subscribers. I hope these tips were helpful and you create some amazing pages. Be sure to check out my website to see the latest offerings in recipe templates because they do change all the time. And I'd love for you to like or subscribe to see all future videos. Thanks again and happy scrapbooking.